to episode 405 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for February 4th, 2023. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on, Dominic?
It is freaking cold, man. Winter is here. It finally got here. Like, started early February. Like, yeah, man, freaking freezing. But you know what? On this podcast, we're going to get right to, like, gaming. Well, I'll actually talk a little bit on sports. Just a little bit. Because I know you had the Royal Rumble happen, so I don't mind hearing a little bit about that. You know, it's going to be Mahomes versus Jalen Hurts of the Eagles, you know, homes of the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to be a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with it, even though I was rooting for the Bengals to beat Mahomes because it's a sports show I watch, and this guy's insufferable. He's a insufferable Chiefs fan, and I hate, like, I wanted to see him angry. And then when they fucking won, I was like, well, I have not watched any sports shows for the last week, and I probably won't watch none unless the Chiefs lose for a while on that. Well, at least that show anyway, because darn. But yeah, because I don't mind Mahomes winning. I don't have nothing against the Chiefs. Like, they're good. I mean, shit. I just find it funny how Chiefs fans, everybody, they're all talking about how, like, oh, everybody didn't have us winning and blah blah blah, and I'm like, nobody really. I mean, some people did, but it wasn't like you were an underdog. Yeah. That's the thing. You're always. I mean, some people saying, like, oh, because of Tyreek Hill, he's not there anymore. So they thought that the Chiefs wasn't going to be that good. Mm-hmm. And whoever said that are idiots, because I always thought Kelsey was the best guy. And he said he's there. So the tight end. So I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah. So yeah, because I still had Kansas City probably winning the division, or I thought, like, oh, then maybe if they don't win the division, it'll be the wild card. But because based on that division, everybody thought the division would be great. But it wasn't. It wasn't that great. And Kansas City won it again. And I mean, Mahomes is great. I mean, there's a reason why the man got paid that much money. Right. You know, he's getting almost like 50. He's getting like what, 30 something a year for, I forgot how many years, or 40 something a year. I forget what it is. It's something ridiculous. It's something, he's getting paid a lot. All right, so that's that. That's all I'm going to talk about. So Royal Rumble. How was the Royal Rumble?
It was a really enjoyable show. Obviously, the two focal points were kind of the men's and women's Royal Rumble matches. The men's Royal Rumble match was won by Cody Rhodes, which was pretty much a given. Yeah, that's not a surprise to anyone. The women's also wasn't necessarily a surprise. Rhea Ripley won that one. But it did come down at the end to her, Asuka, and Liv Morgan, and they did kind of a fun spot where they were all three of them were on the apron, and it seemed like there was some tension there, like somebody else could have won. Outside of that, though, they also had the Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns match for the undisputed world title or whatever, with Sami Zayn in Roman Reigns' corner. That story is still going on with the Bloodline and Sami Zayn joining them and everything. That kind of came to a culmination at the end of the Royal Rumble, though, because they had, after the match, Roman Reigns, of course, won, but they ended up handcuffing Kevin Owens to the ring ropes, and they were just teeing off on him. And then Roman Reigns was going to hit him with the chair, and Sami Zayn stops him, and he's like, no, this is beneath you. You don't need to do this. Because Sami Zayn is Kevin Owens' friend, sort of on again, off again type thing. And Roman Reigns is basically like, yeah, you're right. I am beneath this. You have to do it. So there Sami is holding the chair. They kind of do this dramatic thing of cutting because he's kind of standing behind Roman, and they keep cutting to this angle that's like, is he going to hit Roman? Is he going to hit Kevin Owens? What's he going to do? Eventually, after like the third time, he tees off on Roman Reigns, solidifying that he is no longer part of the bloodline. And then Jimmy, one of the Usos, just super kicks him, knocks him out. Meanwhile, his brother Jey Uso, who has kind of been conflicted about the whole thing. He was actually the one most against Sami Zayn being in the bloodline, but kind of came around with him helping them secure the victory at Survivor Series. He just kind of, put his head down and walked off. And now Roman Reigns is just pissed off that Sami Zayn has destroyed his family, destroyed his bloodline. And on SmackDown, Jay wasn't around. Roman Reigns was talking to Jimmy, like, where's your brother at? Why isn't he here? What's going on? Meanwhile, Sami Zayn basically challenged Roman Reigns to a title match at Elimination Chamber, which I think is only a couple of weeks away, and that is going to happen in Canada. It's going to happen in Sami Zayn's hometown, basically. So that's going to be massive. I have no doubt that he is going to lose. In what fashion, we shall see, but that should be a very fun show as well. They're going to do actual Elimination Chamber matches for the Women's Raw title because Rhea Ripley has challenged Charlotte. So that leaves Bianca's title on Raw up for grabs. And then since Roman has both titles for the men, both top titles, it's going to be the U.S. Championship, which Austin Theory currently holds. So that should be a good show too. That's only coming up in a couple of weeks. So yeah, that's Royal Rumble. Good stuff.
All right. That's cool. So what was the big surprise in Royal Rumble?
Honestly, there wasn't really any big surprise. They didn't even really utilize like legends too much in the... I'm trying to think, was there anybody in the men's match? I thought there was like one person, but I can't remember who it was now. And then in the women's match, it was Michelle McCool. She was just sitting in the audience, and then they were like, Michelle McCool is number whatever. And she was just like, oh, I'm in this match. So she puts down her popcorn and she jumps in there. Yeah, it was actually kind of a highlight of the stars that they currently have, which is really cool. Like, the cool thing about the men's match was the first guy that came in was Gunther. He's currently the Intercontinental Champion, and he's one of the best wrestlers in the world right now. And then it was like Drew McIntyre and Sheamus were 2 and 3. So they all hung around a really long time. Gunther actually went all the way to the final 2. It was him versus Cody at the very end. And they actually went on quite a while after they eliminated the person before them, which I can't remember who it was off the top of my head now. But they had another 10 minutes of just those two going at it after everybody else was eliminated. So he actually broke the record for longest time in a single Rumble match with the 30 men, because I think Daniel Bryan, when they did like a 60-man one or something, or a 40-man one in Saudi Arabia, had the record for longest time in that. But yeah, that was cool. I'm trying to think. Like, Brock Lesnar was in there, but he was in there for a very short amount of time. He got eliminated by Bobby Lashley. What's that?
How'd he get eliminated? They just tossed him over?
Just tossed him, basically. Him and Bobby Lashley have been in a feud for a while now, and it seems like they're setting up like one final match for WrestleMania or something like that.
What number was Brock Lesnar?
I don't remember. He was somewhere, I feel like, in kind of the middle of the pack. Like, he came in, he didn't even eliminate anybody. I think it was 2 years ago when Drew McIntyre won. He came out at like number 1 and eliminated everybody from the first half of the Rumble until Drew McIntyre eliminated him. So obviously they can make him to be an incredible monster. But after he got eliminated, he was pissed off and like dumped a referee over the barrier and slammed the steps on the announce table and stuff. I guess the biggest kind of surprise was that Pat McAfee is back. Now that all the football stuff is basically, now that the college football stuff, I think that's what he was doing mostly, is over. He came back as an announcer. Okay. So he's a lot of fun.
But yeah, I was actually For the first time, cause I had a TV on, and it was Pictionary. Pictionary has a show,
Interesting.
like a game show,
Uh-huh.
and it was The Miz up there
Okay.
versus what's his name from the black guy, the black group, what they call
New Day?
New Day. Yeah, what's the one name the guys from New Day?
Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and Big E.
Xavier Woods.
Okay, that sounds right.
And I think it's their families. I don't know because
okay.
it looked like because I was looking and I was like, because when I saw the Miz, I don't really know the Miz that well, so I didn't. I thought that was just a normal dude.
Uh-huh.
But then I looked at Kofi. I was like, that dude looks familiar, man. He buff as hell too. What do I know this dude from? And then I looked. I said, no, these are wrestlers. I said, that must be a celebrity thing going on here. Okay. Yeah, it's like Phil's picks. They were playing Pictionary. I mean, I wasn't really watching it. I just saw him up there. I just know nobody can draw. I can just say that.
This is quite the set that they have for this Pictionary game show.
Yeah.
It is like a 80s living room.
Yeah, it really is. I didn't even know that was a thing. But yeah. All right, so I guess we get to what we're watching. It's gonna be real quick. I finished watching Andor. It's a great series. It ended very well. It's a lot of tension in that ending. They had there were some good moments in this show, and for it to be a Star Wars, it's so weird because it's like I don't know. I mean, they should put a warning for like your kids are not gonna like this. It's like this. There's not going to be a whole lot of. It's going to be some fighting, but it's not going to be no whole lot of stuff to keep their attention.
Yeah.
So, because I'm thinking, it's like, man, this ain't something where you could. This ain't something where kids will be like, yeah, man, I'm going to be Andor or something. I don't know. This is like a serious, really rebellion. This is like the boots on the ground type of show about the rebellion. And the dark side of rebellion, man. It's like how a real rebellion starts, like with uprising. This ain't
like everything that you're doing isn't quite just black and white good kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not Star Wars, honestly. If you think of Star Wars as a whole, it's good and evil.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is no gray. There is no gray. Is it you're the good or you're bad?
Yeah.
So for it to now they try to make
in
the
one
great,
movie
which I
you
mean,
flip instantly, start killing children.
Yeah, exactly. That and that's it. And then you're like, oh, there you go, you're bad now. But yeah, it was a great show. All right, so now we get to what we're playing. So what I've been playing is Persona 5 Royale. Still, I'm really close to the end. I think, because I went past the point of where, because technically you're playing mostly a flashback, technically, of the game, but now I'm past that point of the flashback. So, I'm still enjoying that game. Still liking it. Can't wait to start Persona 3 and try that out. Also, I did try Elder Scrolls Online. I said last week I want to try it because they have quite a few things for free. And the game is free if you play it through Game Pass, but not PC Game Pass, though, which I did not know. Because I was looking for it, and I was like, I said, where is Elder Scrolls at? I don't see it up here. And then I looked online, and I saw it's only free on, free on Game Pass on consoles. So
That's so
I set up a console character, and I made a character. I already had made a character technically with my own account, but I did it with your account because I wanted to try the streaming with that. And it does run a whole lot better. It doesn't really look that much better because graphically Elder Scrolls doesn't really look that great, really.
Right.
But that's just how that game is. That's how it's kind of been. Is that like, even when they came out, it was the best game. It was just the scope of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Of it, and then even this is online. Like I don't even know if it's even as good as Skyrim. Honestly, it's probably worse than Skyrim. But so I created a character, my Red Guard, which it seems like I always end up doing always end up being a red guard. Because it seems like there's only people who are black. And that, I mean, real. But I think they actually have it so that you can change your skin tone in this one. But I think that
cool.
it was just, but it's just that the reason I told red guard is because of the attributes and stuff that it has. It was like, oh, I like it. And then you can add on something else to it, like an add-on. I was a Dragon Knight too at the same time. And I got all these attributes of things. I got like a whip or something, like that's one of my skills. I mean, I still have a sword and shield. I have a whip, I have a fire sword ability, and then I have it where I can make my armor like shoot up spikes and stuff like that. So that was all right. And I played through the game. Yeah, it does feel like just Elder Scrolls, like so far. And I mean, yeah, it feels like if you know what Elder Scrolls is, that's exactly what it is. I mean, right now I'm trying to start this heist with this group to steal something, but I have to get the members. And one member she wanted me to help her save her crew, and then she'll join. So they were captured by these bandits or something, these slavers. So I got them, and then she had poisoned the slaver, though, the woman who was a slaver or whatever. She was on a ship, and she was dying slowly. And I had a choice that I could give that woman the antidote, or kill her swiftly, or just let her die slowly. And for some reason, I gave her the antidote because I thought it was gonna be like I give her the antidote, she'll give me something, you know. But all it did was that. I mean, maybe I'll see something later on in the game, but I don't know, because I gave her the antidote and just said like, "Oh, you chose to save her."
It's the satisfaction of saving someone's life, Dominic. Come on.
No, because I was like, she's a slaver. I wanted to get something out of it, though. I wasn't thinking I was going to get something. I was going to be like, oh, I'll give you this for saving me or something. No, I ain't get none of that. So I was pissed off, and I tried to kill her after. But
a slave. I see how it is, Dominic.
I was trying to kill her after, but it didn't let me. It just let it through. I was like, this is bullshit. Yo, I thought I was going to get something for saving her, man. What the fuck would I care about her dying slowly? Whatever. Anyway, now this other guy, I have to, I mean, I don't know. And honestly, I got lost. So why am I helping this guy? Because he's not the guy that's going to be on the heist. I think he knows the guy that's going to be on the heist. And I think helping him gets to him. So I'm helping him in this dungeon, the Dwarven dungeons. And if you know Elder Scrolls, the dwarves are all long gone, but they seem like they were really advanced in technology. And they have left stuff behind. And this is what this man is trying to study. And I'm going through here, and I'm seeing that some people have been here before, but they have died. It seemed like they might have killed. Well, the leader might have got his people killed because he was trying to take something that's in here for himself. So we're just trying to find out what that is. And I have a feeling that the guy I'm working with is going to turn on me. He has those eyes because he's an elf, so they all look like
he's an elf.
But I see people, like, you can see people roaming the world because it's an open world. It's an MMORPG, and thing is that when I'm doing a mission, there'll be enemies, and they'll be killing them. And one time, I just all I see is a whole bunch of dead bodies. I was like, oh, I said, oh, maybe somebody's been here before. I think it's like an NPC or something. I didn't realize it was just the guy. He's doing his mission, and he's killed all the guys. So I just can walk through and just go get what I needed. And that sucks. I was like, oh, I don't even fight. I said, that sucks. That means I don't level up being from fights. And thing is, it's a hard time telling like what's an enemy or them until I get close to them, because I'm up here like, oh crap, there's an enemy coming. And then I realized it just go right through me, and that's like, oh, that's it. Yeah. That was a person. Like, but a lot of those, almost everybody in there got like a freaking spirit animal or something. I don't know. Like they got an animal following them, something. And I'm thinking like, man, I thought I was doing like the early missions. So I'm like, y'all got animal stuff already? I'm on what level you got to be to do that. But then again, at the beginning of the game, you get to choose what world to go in. Well, after you go through the tutorial stuff, you get to this room where there's a whole bunch of paintings, and well, they're not paintings. They're actually like warp holes or whatever to choose what area to go to, and I chose to go to this desert land. And so I'm thinking maybe those guys they finished some of those other places, and they just came here to do some missions, and maybe that's why they leveled up high enough that they can get those abilities. But now I'm in a point where I'm trying to find. I was about to find a bank because I need to store some stuff. Because I was like, I was in a dwarven like cave or whatever. But thing is, I couldn't pick up no more stuff. So I was like, oh man, I got to leave. I said I'm going to leave and come back because I got to store my items. So I say I got to find a place to store them. Then I looked online. I found out there are banks and you can store your items there. So I was looking for a bank, and then when I just found the damn bank, the Xbox turned off and said, "Oh, doing an update. You have to do an update." And I'm like, "You motherfuckers! You can't wait till I stop playing."
Yeah.
I said, "You sons of bitches!" So they just kicked me out the fucking game. And I was like, "You assholes!" And then I sent my angry letter to Xbox. I sent my death threats.
There you go.
To
straight to Phil Spencer.
Yeah, Phil Spencer. Yep, right to him. Also, I did play a little bit on stream. I streamed it, and cool. I mean not streaming, but cloud streaming. I played through there, and yeah, the pixelation stuff is just really bothering me. But it runs really good. Like they do have the performance mode, and then quality mode, and the quality mode. Yeah, you can still see it runs. It looked like it run at 30 frames, and then we put performance run at 60 frames. But I don't see the difference in quality, honestly. So I'm like, I just put on performance. It runs so a lot better. But shit. Because of that, but since the pixelation sometimes it bothers me, I just end up playing on my console, and yeah, it definitely doesn't look as good or run as good, but it's fine. It's fine for me, but I do wish I could cloud stream it, and it cloud streaming fucking out of beta. Damn it, the longest fucking beta, man, that I ever seen. And they fix it so I can run nice. It's just funny because I when I first started cloud streaming on PC, I was fine. Mm-hmm. I mean, actually, no, it wasn't fine. It wasn't totally fine. I was getting kicked out. But then when I started able to play, I didn't have no pixelation problems. Right. It didn't start till I started playing Guardians of the Galaxy. I really noticed that. And yeah, I do not like that. And I wish it was on PC, man. I really wish it was on PC. I don't know why it can't be on PC Game Pass. And I'm curious, can I transfer my character from console to the PC one? Like, can you just transfer characters? Because I'm like, can I play just Elder Scrolls on PC? Just get it normally? Or do I have to buy it? Yeah. I probably have to buy it.
Did you have to make like a Bethesda account? Or was it just regular Xbox stuff?
No, did I have to make a Bethesda account?
I just wonder. I don't know how you even log into that game anymore on PC, but
I don't know. I think maybe they just use your Xbox.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because I'm playing on the regulars, and but I changed my name to ADOS Forever. I changed it to that. Somebody had ADOS. I was gonna put ADOS, and somebody has. I said, "Oh, I gotta find him," but it probably stands for something else. We'll have to find him and slay him and take his name.
There you go.
All right, so yeah, that's all I've really been playing. I haven't really played much anything else. I did try to play some Hi-Fi Rush, which you played, but some reason it wouldn't let me get in the game when I loaded up on PC. I read people had some problems with that. I don't know why it didn't let me play. It just kept saying error or something. I uninstalled it. Maybe I try to install it and try again. But I played a little bit through streaming, but because of the pixelation, I didn't play that long. But what I played so far, it seemed okay. The timing and stuff was, it wasn't a lag, so the timing felt okay when I was fighting. But yeah, so how did you like the game?
I thought it was actually really cool. I struggled a little bit with it in the same way of like similar rhythm games. I have a trouble with the timing, especially if it's not like obvious. Now they do have in the options to basically put like a beat meter at the bottom of the screen. I
Yes,
didn't go
that does
that
help.
far.
That helps a little bit.
What's that?
That does help a little bit.
Yeah. Because they do very clever things, like things in the environment bounce and even your meters bounce to the rhythm. And I found myself, as I like nodded my head to it, I could get more into it. But especially like when you try to use the heavy hits where it does like it skips a beat basically. It just my head doesn't work very well that way. But like the game in general, visually, it looks awesome. It has kind of a Sunset Overdrive vibe mixed with cel-shaded anime look to it. The tone of it, I think, is neat. It's very much like this guy wants to be kind of a punk rock guy, but now he's got this robotic arm situation with an iPod in his chest.
Does it explain to me why he was there?
I think he like volunteered to be a test subject.
Oh, okay. And like, what is this world? Let's explain that.
I'm not quite clear on yet. But yeah, I think the combat stuff is really cool, and if you actually can get into the beat mechanic of it, I think it's really clever too. It kind of has like a Devil May Cry or a Bayonetta style combat system. You're also getting ranked in a similar way with, A through E or whatever, with S rank also if you're really good at stuff. But in addition to your like style and diversity, you're also being ranked on your beat matching. I'm really into it so far. I don't know if it's something necessarily where I'm going to say I'm going to beat it, but it's definitely a cool game. I like it a lot so far.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm excited that I'm glad that they did something like a surprise game and it turned out to be really good.
Yes,
that's why I'm really happy that happened.
Yeah.
All right, so what's going on with Sports Story?
Sports Story, I'm still just playing along through that. So I got the bike. I told you the last time I talked about this game that I had just picked it up. I hadn't used it yet. It basically plays like an Excite Bike-esque thing. You're playing the bike situation from the side, and you'll go over mountains or hills or whatever, and then you gotta land flat to keep your speed up, that kind of thing. I've only really played one little portion of that so far. I've also played a little bit of cricket, which didn't really do much for me. This game, besides the technical issues that I've talked about in the past, the stuttering and whatnot, which really just shouldn't be a thing we talked about it with Pokemon 2, which is on a much larger scale, but for a game that is designed basically with the intention of only playing on the Switch as it currently is, it feels absurd that you run into issues like that, especially when the first game did not have such issues. And it's only extrapolated by the fact that, like, I really like sport or Golf Story a lot. I just would have liked the golf mechanics to be slightly improved. And instead of just iterating on that game and making a better version of that game, which some can argue obviously can be tiring, they decided that, they were going to add all these other sports to it. And so far, none of them are particularly fun. I think the soccer-y stuff, which I haven't even really had like a match or anything, I've just been kicking around a ball, I thought was fine. But, I talked about it. There's that Soccer Story game out there that I think does that probably a lot better. So I'm sure they didn't necessarily know about that game or, whatever when they were working on this. But at the same time, it's just an unfortunate circumstance for them that now they're competing with a similar thing there. It really just comes down to... Sorry, go ahead.
How's the reviews for this game?
I honestly haven't looked. I know the kind of discourse around it when it first came out was that it was kind of a disappointment, a bit of a mess because of the bugs and whatnot. Let's see. Sports Story. Oh, Jesus. On Metacritic, it currently has a 54.
Oh man.
Yeah. Game
Darn,
Informer gave it a 65, which if you're getting anything below a 70 on Game Informer, you're probably in rough shape.
So I guess people really feel like you do.
Yeah.
Or worse.
GameSpot gave it a 40. Those are the only... Did IGN even do it? Those are the only big names that I'm seeing here. There's Nintendo Life. They gave it a 60, but everything else is ones that I wouldn't even necessarily mention.
Disappointing.
I'm a little surprised IGN didn't do it. I don't know what IGN is anymore. But yeah, it's just it really kind of falls flat. That's not to say I'm not still having fun with it. Like I'm still playing the game. I think it's fine. But it's definitely, it doesn't live up to the charm of the first game. And that's a lot of what carried that first game too, was like the story was fun and the dialogue was cute or whatever. And then it just had decent golf mechanics in it. I remember people talking about that being hard too, which I didn't have too much of a problem with. It was very much like, it felt almost like a spiritual successor to one of those, like the Game Boy Color Mario Golf RPG style games. And that's why I was really excited when they said they were going to make another one. And then it turned out to be something kind of different. And yeah, the technical issues, which I don't know if they've addressed, honestly, if they said they're going to be working on those or what. I would imagine it's a pretty small team working on this, but that kind of stuff for a game like this just feels kind of unacceptable.
Yeah, man, that's pretty bad from like the first game, like compared to like what the first game was. That you just couldn't grow from that. Maybe you should have stayed with golf, and I wouldn't see that be a problem. Yeah, staying with golf.
Exactly. I mean, I was really hoping, because I remember it being like the putting that I feel like they didn't really go too in depth on. And when you have different level, heights and stuff, and you have to adjust for stuff, the options that they gave you just kind of weren't enough. But like to go Golf Story, I'm looking at it now on Metacritic, from a 78 for your next game to be a 54. Like that's obviously a dramatic step down. And I'm seeing a lot in these reviews, like the fact that you're doing a lot of fetch quests being an issue in this game. And yeah, that's one of the things too, is like that first game, it was very much like, oh, I'm integrating playing golf or taking golf shots into what I need to do in the world. And that's kind of clever. And here it's really just like, oh, talk to this person, get this thing. Okay, talk to this person, trade it with them. And then there has been a lot of that in this game so far.
Oh, man. Yeah. All right. So I guess that's it. So I guess we take a quick break. When we get back, we get to the flashback segment.
All right.
And we're back. And now we're doing the flashback segment. And we're going to be flashbacking to 2013, 10 years ago. But we're only going to do covers. Because it's the first of the month. And, we always do video game covers on magazines. We're getting less and less in the, the 2010s. Yeah. And that was like 2013. Like, it's not going to be that many covers, going forward. It's going to be more covers, though, for like 30 years ago. So, yeah, that's a change. It's going to be like less going up top and more coming from the bottom. And that's how it goes. All right. So we're starting with Xbox Magazine in 2013. They got Lara Croft on the cover with some dude in the background. I don't know who that is, but it's Tomb Raider. And is he the villain?
I think he's the bad guy, yeah. Yeah,
okay. But yeah, so this was the new, like the revamped Tomb Raider. The Tomb Raider's got a reboot. Yeah. And this is her getting all bloodied and bruised, and people not liking that for some reason. Even though it's just her falling off cliffs. It's like, dude, it's not like she getting beat up.
The thing about this cover that surprises me, did you remember that game had multiplayer?
No, that's what I was about to say. I saw a multiplayer reveal, and I was like, what? I was like, maybe this is not the same Tomb Raider.
Maybe they concealed it again.
I'm like, yeah, I did not know this game had multiplayer. I mean, I didn't remember. I probably knew, just didn't care. But yeah, I wondered, was it any good?
Yeah, I don't remember.
But was it better
if it
than
even came out?
Uncharted? Uncharted's multiplayer.
I don't know. People actually liked Uncharted's multiplayer.
No,
there for a while.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I wonder if it was better or worse. Last of Us, like Last of Us. I didn't know Last of Us had multiplayer. So when people talk about like, is the new one's going to have multiplayer, like the remake or whatever, had multiplayer or multiplayer's about to come out. I was like, it had multiplayer. What you do? I don't know what you do in the Last of Us multiplayer.
You sneak around and shoot people. Yeah, because now they're doing that Factions game, which is just the strictly multiplayer Last of Us thing.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I have to watch some gameplay on that to know what that is. But what they got up here, they got the Game of the Year awards up there. And they got Deadpool. Exclusive info on the Mouthy Mercs Xbox debut. Oh, that game hasn't come out yet, Daniel, by Activision, right?
Yep.
The Deadpool game. See, and Microsoft get Activision.
They can bring Deadpool back.
Deadpool, yeah. Sex, I don't know. I don't think so. I think the licenses.
Yeah, they would have to
anybody
re-up it with Marvel because I think that's why it got pulled from all the services and everything.
And actually, wait a minute. So Marvel got dead. Yeah, but that's right. I keep forgetting. Marvel bought Fox, so they don't have to talk to Fox about all that shit.
Nope.
All right. All right. Well, Dark Souls 2. Grand Theft Auto 5 up there. Oh, Rockstar Returns.
Oh, man.
And Gears of War's Judgment. How this shooter is doing things differently and wrongly.
Differently and badly. Yes.
What is this special interactive cover? Download the app.
Yeah, get AR and look at
AR.
it. Yeah. AR lens.
All right. So what else we got here? We got EGM in 2013. EGM still hanging in there. They're doing bi-monthly covers, like issues. But they had like a 3-cover issue. They had Alien Colonial Marines. But I'm showing up here the Star Trek one, which is based off that co-op Star Trek game based off the movie. And then they also had the Last of Us cover up there. So yeah, the Star Trek game. Yeah, I forgot about this game. Yeah, I remember when it came out. It was just like a digital game, I believe. I don't know if it ever came physical. But yeah, I never got it. I didn't end up getting it to try. It always sound cool that it was co-op.
Yeah.
Shooter, and I don't know how to review though.
But it was decent, but nothing too special.
Oh, they also got their game awards up here. And of course they got Holidays Buyer's Guide up here because of magazines get released a month before the month they say they are.
Yeah.
That's just how it works. All right. So what else we have? We got Game Informer. And this is a nice one. Lego Marvel Superheroes. And this was a good game, even though I never finished beating it. Because I felt like it got too long.
Look at that, Dominic. They got X-Men in here still.
Yeah, I mean, they could. Clean. Lego, the Marvel Legos, they could have all the stuff. I think they ended up going movies though.
Yeah.
At the WoW, the last one. Well, actually, was it Avengers 2 was the last one, or Lego Marvel Superheroes 2? I forget.
Because
but yeah, they had everything in here. This was a cool game, man. It was funny. We actually played it together, doing the what was it called, Daniel? What's the thing? Afterlife.
Yeah.
I said Afterlife.
Yeah.
I'm killing the kids. So
jeez,
getting them ready for the Afterlife. Even though I still like the Panama stuff better, but at least this was like original dialogue. I mean, that's what the Legos are doing now, original dialogue, which it is pretty funny. But just the game, I always got to a point where I felt like I played enough, but I didn't finish it. But it felt like it just was too much. And it's probably my fault for just trying to collect all the stubs or dubs or
yeah.
stubs, like whatever they are. And Well, they didn't even make it so that they don't just come everywhere, for me to collect them, because it just takes so long, and I'll kind of get through the story. I think the only Lego game I finished recently was DC Villains one.
Mm.
And that was really good. Like, that's my favorite one so far. All right. So where we at here? That is it for 2013. So now we are going to 2003, 20 years ago, to the official PlayStation magazine. Actually, I think I hit the wrong one. I meant to hit the PSM, the unofficial PlayStation magazine.
Yeah.
And we got Lara Croft again.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a different one. This is for the Angel of Darkness one. That's what it's called.
The complete opposite end of the spectrum of Tomb Raider franchise.
Exactly. 10 years apart. And yeah, even though she looks all right in this, I like this picture looks good. This looks well drawn. Nice. It's not too, because I think they had one where she was just like all boobies and everything. Or something.
I mean, they've still got a nice selective slice in her shirt there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they do. But it's not outrageous, Daniel. It's
not in the way
outrageous.
that some of these PSM magazines can be, no.
Yeah. What else I got here? They got, Mortal Kombat 5, Every Fatality. We revealed the coolest coffins in our Crypt God. Oh, they were doing the Crypt then, too. NBA Street 2, that's my favorite NBA Street. First hands-on alley-oop off their heads. Well, it was the best NBA Street, really. I might as well just say that, because after that, it was pretty much downhill.
Yeah.
Devil May Cry 2, Lucia Cuts Loose. First sexy screens. Oh, yeah. See that sexy Lucia, who you never see again in Devil May Cry. Because I don't think she ever shows up again. Oh, they got 10 Hours Alone with the new Lara Croft. Look at that. Well, Lara. 10 Hours Alone, Dad. That's just ridiculous. Is Tomb Raider back on track? Nope. And that was supposed to be like a whole, like, Angel Dark was supposed to be like, oh, this is like episode one, like part one of Summer Story, and it's going to be a sequel. That's supposed to be like a whole big anthology thing they were going with this. I remember reading that in Game Informer.
Mm.
Yeah, it pretty much ended on the first one, and that was it. Monster Smash, full review of Sony's surprise smash hit. Oh yeah, that was like the Kaiju game that Sony had. And then you have Star Wars, Weigar, True Crime, High Heat, and Primal. First word, Square's shocking announcement. I think that's when
it's probably the Enix stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's 100% independent, Daniel.
Of course.
PlayStation 2 magazine. Oh, Virtual Fire Evolves. I did have that one. Yep, that was good. Dragon Ball Z. Yep, the fighting game. Everybody loved. All Dragon Ball Z people loved anyway. All right, so where we at here? Now we're going to the official PlayStation magazine. And we got here the Getaway on the front.
Yeah.
This is the British Grand Theft Auto. And I actually did watch some gameplay of this, like, yesterday. I was on YouTube and say, let me see, like, I never actually watched, like, full gameplay in, like, screen, like, cutscenes or nothing from this.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I mean, it seemed okay. It seemed like an alright game. Something I probably would have enjoyed back then. But I don't know how it controls or anything. But did the guy have subtitles? I don't know if he has subtitles. And I was wondering, like, do they have subtitles? Because I would have needed them. Because that British language, it's hard to understand. But yeah, this is Sony's first party game. And I think it got reviewed. I think it got reviewed okay. Like, it wasn't it wasn't as good as Grand Theft Auto, but it was all right. They got Enter Matrix in here. They got The Sims PC hit on PlayStation 2 reviewed. Remember, my friend got that game. He was excited for that. I think he played it a lot too. Splinter Cell first look, not just for Xbox anymore. Yeah, we finally got it. I was like, yes.
Have a really crappy version of it on PS2.
Yep, and it was.
Doesn't have the lighting or something. It doesn't
have nope. It doesn't have the lighting or anything. But I bet you it sold more. Midnight Club 2, Fast and the Furious from Rockstar. And I never did play Midnight Club until 3 because one of my nephews, a friend of the family's
3 the dub edition?
Son. Yeah.
Okay.
And that was the one I played because they had it. But I don't remember much from the game. I didn't play much. I just played one race and that was good.
Yeah.
Also got some cheats. Here we go. This is what I needed. Grand Theft Auto Vice City cheats. This is like the first Grand Theft Auto I ever played without cheats was 4 until I found the cheats. And then 5 was 5. 5 was the first one I literally completed without cheats from start to finish. None of the other ones I did. I had none of the others I ever did. And now that's not to say I wasn't looking for cheats, because I was. And then they didn't have any, so I had to play. But the thing is, the first Rockstar game I played to beat with cheats was technically Red Dead. Red Dead Redemption, the first one, because they had cheats, but you couldn't save.
Right.
It was stupid.
This is a serious cowboy game, Dominic.
All right. What is this? A 1,258 ratings? Oh, then they must be talking about all the games they rated. Which all they did was pick a list of the past games they did. It wasn't like they reviewed 100,258 games for this month. All right, so let me see here. We got GamePro in 2003. They got Legend of Zelda Wind Waker on front. Link slashing. A legend in the making? Question mark?
As if he wasn't already a legend. How dare you?
Yeah. They got the Mortal Kombat Diddy Alliance strategy in here. All the moves. Look at Sonya.
Just looking dumb.
I know, really dumb.
And Cyrax just looking so flat.
I don't really like the chest plates on him. I don't really like them. Resident Evil 0, this is what they should have remade. Yeah. Where we at here? Dragon Ball Z Budokai, EverQuest Online up top. The Sims, best games of 2002, so they're doing their awards. What we got? 115 plus games inside. Unreal 2, The Awakening, PC, NBA Street Volume 2, Panzer Dragoon. Let me stop this. The phone's beeping because of goddamn Messenger. Hot role-playing games for 2003. You got Final Fantasy. You got Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. And I guess they got more in there. Because that's only 2 years old. And yeah, that's it. All right. So what we got? Oh, we got Game Informer 2003. And on the front of this, Midnight Club 2 on the front. And 25 new games previewed, I would say, and 45 must-read reviews, including The Getaway for the PS2. And behind the scenes of Sony's EverQuest empire, Rockstar returns to the world of illegal street racing with
Sony
their
needs
fake
to bring
cars.
EverQuest back, Dominic. It's time.
It's time? Okay.
It's time for EverQuest.
But bad thing about the Midnight Clubs is because since they do damage to cars, they couldn't use licensed cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always use what looked like a licensed car, which sucked. Fear Effect Inferno. I was waiting for this game. And it never came out. Exclusive Pika Eidos' naughty next-gen sequel. And that's why. Because I was waiting for this game actually probably years before, because this is not the first announcement of it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, because I was like, oh yeah, I got to see those girls, those lesbian girls together and stuff, doing stuff. And it never did, Daniel. It never came out. Actually, I never played the ones before that because I was on PlayStation. And I didn't want to go backwards. It's like I'm gonna play this one. It's gonna be in good graphics, lesbian scenes and good graphics. All right. So now, see, I was progressive, Daniel. I was progressive back then. I support the lesbians. All right, 30 years ago, we're going back 30 years to 1993 on GamePro. I was just a little lad in second grade. All right, and we got Data from Star Trek on the front. I would not have liked this cover, Daniel, if I would have saw that in second grade. I wouldn't care for that magazine. I wish I could read the title here, but I got a big sticker talking about free art of fighting and world heroes posters inside.
I mean,
so there you go.
The reality of that. That's more important.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that just below that is also a thing saying that there's a world of heroes and art of fighting. Free.
Yeah, on the Super Nintendo. Also, you have reviews on Genesis Flashback, Echo the Dolphin, Streets of Rage 2, Out of This World, Captain America and the Avengers. I played the shit out of that game. Double Dragon 3. And Super Nintendo, you got Super Strike Eagle, Gods. I don't remember Gods. Super Valis 4. Cool World, based off the movie. Super Jimmy Connors Pro Tennis Tour. Oh, that's the title. Okay. There you go. Jimmy Connors. There you go. I don't know him, but he plays tennis. NHL Players Association Hockey 93. They had to put a Player Association in there for some reason. I don't know why they could just say NHL and Hockey 93. What is this? Combat Tribes? And they're not. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that is. Ultima 6. All right. Ultima. That's not the Ultima that's on PC, right? The hell is Ultima 6?
I think it is. Before it became like Ultima Online, I think there was just, the Ultima series.
I'm surprised it's on Super Nintendo. All right, Sega CD. The Adventures of Monkey Island is on Sega CD, Daniel.
Yeah.
That's the first game. That game could probably, I guess because it's a cartridge.
The definitive edition, Dominic.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's just like still all pixels. It's still all pixels and stuff and everything. How much that game cost for Sega CD? But then again, okay, it's 1993. I guess the graphics are. No, Willie Beamish came out. I would have hated that. Sherlock Holmes, the consulting detective. Oh, he's just a consultant this time.
He's outsourced.
Sewer Sharks. Oh, are they not the
Street
shark?
Sharks?
What's the Street Sharks?
They haven't evolved into the Street Sharks yet. Still living.
Got Alien 3 on Nintendo. Still coming up with games. Alien 3, Zing Intergalactic Ninja. Good God. Oh, the Turbo Duo got Super Buster Brothers. The Game Boy got Super Mario Land 2. And he had Jones and Last Crusade for the Game Gear and Tasmania. And Lynx had Dracula. Atari Lynx.
Yeah.
Hardware on the horizon. Genesis thumb, mouse, and Super Nintendo 4-player adapter.
Man, look at that mouse.
And the Aladdin system for the Nintendo.
Wonder what that is.
Yeah, what the hell? I know Aladdin, but I don't think that's the same thing. And they spelled Aladdin wrong. It's 2 L's, so that must not be the same thing.
Aladdin Deck Enhancer.
Oh, what does that do?
Let's see. It's a system enhancing adapter to use compact cartridges on the Nintendo Entertainment System. What does that mean?
Well, we're moving on to EGM. And we got Busby, the best video game mascot ever. I will not let people bequeath his name. Because Bubsy, man, he was the man. He was everywhere. And for him just to go away like that because y'all just hated him. Because he was different. Oh, let's say one cool cat for Genesis and Super Nintendo, Bubsy. Holy hairballs. I made the cover of EGM. Look, that's what he said, Dave. EGM previews, Humans, Flashback, Super Mega Man, Spider-House 3, Rolling Thunder 3. Rolling Thunder 3. Is that the helicopter game? Is that like the war game or something?
I feel like it is.
Play as the bosses in Super Nintendo Street Fighter 2.
No, Rolling
that was
Thunder
a big deal?
is a dude on a motorcycle being attacked by a cyber dog, Dominic.
Oh, okay. And he's got 3 of them?
Tense. Apparently. Made by Namco.
But yeah, I didn't know that was a big deal. Play as the bosses in Super Nintendo Street Fighter 2. I mean, I remember now, like, I don't think in arcades you could play as, like, M. Bison, right? You couldn't pick him in the early arcades, but you could pick him in the console. And I didn't know that. I didn't realize that was a thing till later. I was like, oh, I guess that was a big deal or whatever. It doesn't matter. I ain't like playing with him because I always sucked at him anyway. All right. What else again? First look at 32-bit 3DO system. Oh yeah, the 3DO is coming out, Daniel.
There you
get that Gex, man, coming at you. All right, and that's it. So that's it for the flashback segment. So we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, get to the gaming news.
All right,
and we're back, and we're going to the gaming news. So what we got, Dan?
All right, Dominic, it's the end of the quarter, so with that, we get some news coming out of these fiscal calls. Notably, first up here, we have EA. They announced as part of their call that Jedi Survivor is going to be delayed a couple of weeks from April 28th to March 17th, which is kind of notable because it's only 6 days before May the 4th, and as we all know, that is now...
Wait. I'm confused. It says delayed. Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah,
okay,
sorry.
I
It's
that right.
from March 17th to April 28th. I think I said that wrong. Yeah, which is, a couple of days before May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. That's something that we are more and more recognizing as a stupid geek holiday.
Yeah, I'm enforced into it.
I can kind of see the logic behind not releasing it on May 4th, despite, the thing. You release it the week before, it gets its press then, and then you can also, get a little extra buzz out of it on May 4th. I feel like you put out a new, trailer or something for it.
You get a free
that
NFT
way you
with
double
it.
dip.
You buy it on May the 4th, you get a free NFT. That's all.
Exactly. Yes, you get a free NFT of the guy's cloak or whatever is cool and new in this one. That game looks good still. It's not a big delay, so it's fine.
It's not, because I forgot what day it was coming out.
Yeah, that's kind of how I
it.
feel nowadays. It's like, a game doesn't exist until it actually is out, and we talk about it anyway, so I don't care. Also announced as part of this, EA is going to be shutting down Apex Legends Mobile. The in-app purchases have already been disabled and the servers are going offline May 1st. They are also going to be stopping development on Battlefield Mobile, which they haven't specified a date for yet, but they have announced that the studio behind it, Industrial Toys, will also be closing in conjunction with that. So they are moving away from the mobile side of things there.
But I also heard something about Apex Legends. They're canceling their the crossover, like Apex Legends and Titanfall game.
Yeah, there was a rumored single player game that was set in the Apex Legends universe, which people were like, yeah, the Apex Legends universe, which is the Titanfall universe. So I don't know if that was actually ever said to be a Titanfall thing or not.
Yeah, because I was very confused by that too, and I was like, what? I didn't even know about this. I mean, maybe we mentioned it, but maybe it was one of those things I put in the back of my mind, like I'll wait till I see something. So,
exactly. But yeah, that has also been allegedly canceled. So yeah,
can we just get Titanfall 3?
What's that?
Can we just get Titanfall 3?
Exactly. Hopefully that's why they canceled it. They're spending up all their resources on Titanfall 3 once they're done with Jedi Survivor.
I'm glad the Apex Legends is still going, though. The original Apex Legends.
Yeah, it seems like it's doing well enough in the battleground situation that is occurring there. Yeah, out of all the things, I think that one's secretly like number 2 because you had PUBG just completely fall off the map, despite being kind of the first big one.
What about do you count Call of Duty with that, or you just count Call of Duty as like its own thing?
I just forgot about Call of Duty, to be honest with you. Call of Duty may, in fact, be number 2 there, I guess.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think they numbered Warzone. But thing is, it's like they got Warzone, then they got their game too, and which is multiplayer. It's like it's all like I don't know how do they even separate it or anything, like with the player, like do they have a player count specifically on like Warzone, or do they have a player count on Call of Duty multiplayer in general?
Because you have to wonder, like, if Warzone is taking up that much of the Call of Duty player space, like, could we see a year where they release a Call of Duty that is a single player only thing, and then Warzone
I think we said that. I mean, I think we said that before, but it hasn't done it yet. They haven't done it yet.
Yeah,
unless Microsoft buys them, maybe they do it. I don't know.
Yeah. And then they turn Call of Duty into Halo. They're like, we're just going to put Master Chief in here. And this is how we're going to save Halo.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So another one that is shutting down. We have a lot of live service game announcements this week. Knockout City will be shutting down on June 6th. They will be adding as part... What's that?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
As part of their final update on February 28th, they're going to remove all real money transactions. But they're also going to be adding private servers. So this game will still be playable in some capacity, which is nice, even though it still sucks that this game is dying the death that it is. But it's hard to be surprised considering the fact that it came out, got some praise, but kind of fell off the radar, eventually went free to play. And then, now here we are.
Even though it should have always been free to play.
It should have always been free to play, yeah.
And what was the game before that? That was similar.
Launcher.
That's right.
Rocket Arena.
That was shut down, right? That was shut down.
That's what I was just trying to remember if we talked about that being shut down or not. I feel like it has to be. There's no way that game still exists in a world where Knockout City is shutting down. I don't know. I can still buy now according to this EA website.
Is it private servers?
I can. Whoa. Okay. I can spend $5 and buy it on Steam right now.
So you can buy the game. That means you have to be able to play it.
Let's see. Rocket Arena shutdown.
That is crazy that this is Knockout City gets shut down and Rocket Arena is still going.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. In September 2021, when Season 4 ended, some quality of life improvements were released. However, the game stopped getting updated in new seasons. So they stopped updating it, but they haven't taken it offline, it seems like.
But you know what?
That's
maybe
weird.
I guess technically Plants vs. Zombies 2 is still going, right? Is 1 still going? Is his 1 bit shut down? Plants vs. Zombies,
I remember some talk around that, but maybe not.
Maybe this felt, but I just wonder why they couldn't do. I guess Knockout City is I don't know, like why Knockout City servers get shut down and these don't.
Servers shut down. Here's a Reddit post from 2021. Our Grand Theft Garden Warfare 2 servers shutting down. Let's see. Servers aren't shutting down. Garden Warfare 1 servers are still working to this day. We're running on the same servers, I think. Yeah. Oh, here we go. They aren't. Yeah, it seems like they're still up.
That's crazy. This is crazy news. Those are. I mean, especially Rocket Arena. I mean that's still running. And this is the one that gets shut down.
Yeah, I can't imagine what the financials are there that this gets shut down, but that doesn't. Or even like one of these old games like Plants vs. Zombies. Are you telling me Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 1 has a higher player count than this game?
Yeah, and that is worth to keep it on? Keep it going? I'm surprised they shut down and forced people to move over. I mean, good on them.
Yeah.
I'm flabbergasted, Daniel. I'm flabbergasted.
All right, we'll continue to be flabbergasted, Dominic, because another live service game, Rumbleverse will also be shutting down. This one will be shutting down on February 28th. Refunds will be issued for all of the money spent in the game, including battle passes and brawl
What about
bills.
my time, though? Can you refund the time? My time?
No, we cannot refund your time. So now they've given away the current battle pass, and they're doing double XP until the game ends. The in-store game has been the in-game store has been closed down. That's just that one's amazing. Like it's so sad. That game just came out and seemed kind of like a cool thing. Like I never ended up playing it because there's something about like a melee battle royale that I wasn't sure was for me. I mean, battle royales in general aren't really for me, or multiplayer games for that matter, but I like the wrestling aspects of it. It looked like a lot of fun, but I guess it just did not get the audience that it was looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I played it, and and it was fun. Yeah, it was fun playing it. I mean, it seemed pretty fun, but like the space was, like, I guess it really is like the space out there for these type of games, battle royale games, or these multiplayer games that takes like 100 people or 60 people per match and something like that. Is there enough space for that? And sometimes, I mean, it's not, it's not enough space. Is that can it catch people's eye? Can it be enough to catch people where they can say, I could put some time to this game, right, and still put time to another game I'm playing too. I can still, which is mostly Fortnite. It's to say that everybody's playing Fortnite, but can I put some time to something else to play also? And because I look at Fortnite. I mean, for some reason I think like this, like people play Fortnite. That's all they do is play Fortnite, which some people are, but I wouldn't say everybody's like that. There are people who play other games, and they play other multiplayer games too. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna play some Fortnite now, and I'm gonna play something else. Thing is, these other games aren't catching their eye enough to put more time into it. With a game like Fortnite, which is everything, it's not just a battle royale. I mean, it's a mixture of a lot of stuff that people just have fun with. It's its own world. And then you got games like Call of Duty. I mean, the appeal of that, it's different than Rumbleverse, but Rumbleverse is definitely not enough for those people to get away from that game to put time in. And then you have Among Us. You have the Fall Guys. You got what else? What else is out there? I don't know. Just regular video games, Nintendo games. But it's also, I mean, yeah, it's hard to just get like just a regular flow of people playing these different games. Like it's good initially because everybody's trying it out, but then just to have people to stay in power, man, to get people to stay, to come back every now and then. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I mean, you just have to make something that catch somebody's eye, and these weren't it. These two games, unfortunately, they weren't it.
Yep. All right. In other news, Dominic, similar but conversely, Turtle Rock, the developer behind Back 4 Blood, the Left 4 Dead alike, it has announced that they are ending support, basically moving on to their next project. This feels less like abandonment and more like the natural progression of things, but at the same time, it does kind of feel like when you compare it to a Left 4 Dead, which, some people are still playing to this day, it does feel like, oh man, this game's lifespan was not that long.
Yeah, but I feel like it wasn't them. It was just the game. Like the game itself wasn't as good as Left 4 Dead, but it also wasn't a game I felt like they needed to still be there to support it. Like Left 4 Dead is basically left. And now I'm not sure how it's supported by Valve side, but I know it's a lot of mods for it. Like people be putting mods and stuff like that for it. And that's what some people usually do with games. They leave support open so that people can mod it and do things on their own with it. And I don't know if they're going to do that with Back 4 Blood. Probably not, but it's not a game that I expected them just to be on forever. Like, I don't feel like you said, like, I don't feel like much abandoning. Only seems that way because of just how it didn't do as well as Left 4 Dead. It didn't get that same energy from gamers like Left 4 Dead did. But I mean, I think it's fine. Like, they're moving on to a new project. It wasn't a game that, I didn't want to keep updating this forever and do a Back 4 Blood 2 unless it's a whole lot better than this one. But yeah, I'm okay with them just moving on to another project. I mean, that's cool. Not every game needs to be a forever game.
No. Which I think, it's seemingly, at least from this week, a lot of developers are going to be learning. Yeah,
no, they're just going to make another forever game, Daniel. I hope that one cashes in.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it before we started recording, but it really does feel like a lot of these companies are just throwing everything at the wall, hoping that one of them will just catch on virally. You know, we look at Ubisoft and they had Hyperscape, and that was a thing that it looked like might even catch on for a while and then just disappeared because, unfortunately, I feel like that came out around the same time as Valorant, which has secretly caught on in a way that I don't think I realized until I saw it appear more and more. You know. Yeah,
I mean, Valorant is always up top on Twitch streaming. And
I think part of that is probably the Riot connection with League of Legends. The kind of people that were streaming League of Legends, you know, found themselves playing Valorant or something like that.
And then you have what's the other game? That was a copy of Overwatch. What was that one called?
Oh, Paladins?
Not Paladins.
Not Paladins.
Not Paladins. Hold up, maybe it's up here. You know what? I don't see that up here now, and I used to see that all the time. And it was like it was a direct copy because even the characters they're just like,
You sure it's not Paladins?
Maybe it is Paladins. Maybe it is.
That's the one that Donkey made a video about. That was basically
okay. Yeah, Paladins. Okay, yeah, Paladins then. Yeah, because that's free to play, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it is Paladins then. Yeah. So I'm trying to see. I don't see that up here. I mean, I'm sure people are still playing it. But I just don't see it up. It used to be like near the top too for a while.
We need to jump in there, Dominic. We need to play Paladins. Oh, if you go to the Paladins website, well, there's a commercial break happening now, but there's a person streaming it with a cat avatar.
Oh, okay. That's cool. But you know what? I don't see... Oh, there's Overwatch. Overwatch used to be always like top 5 or at least top 10. Now, I mean, has people liked it better now? Has it gotten better? Because I know people were upset when it first was released.
No.
Oh, when's that single player supposed to come out? Is it coming out this year?
That's a good question. I don't think they've said anything about it.
It's going to come out when Microsoft buys it.
Yeah,
and they
pretty much.
Release it.
I wonder how much stuff is just kind of waiting for that to finish up. You know, how many games are we going to see from Activision Blizzard? I mean, obviously we should be seeing Diablo, right? But
yeah.
Outside of that, I wonder how many games come out of those studios before this deal is closed.
All right.
Microsoft's like, we want your cut.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Next up, Dominic, we've got some Sony news here. The PlayStation Plus collection, which was the 20 or so games that Sony had announced that if you bought a PlayStation 5, you would get for free. You know, big PS4 titles like The Last of Us Remastered, God of War, Bloodborne, Ratchet and Clank, stuff like that. They have announced that they are going to be ending that program on May 9th. So if you want those games and you have a PS5 right now, get on there and download those games. I believe that's how I ended up getting Crash. It's About Time. Because I didn't realize that at the time, but I thought that was like a PlayStation Plus game that I had just never downloaded, and then seeing all these stories go around. I also didn't know that at one point I knew Persona 5 was on there, but I didn't realize that last year in May they actually removed that probably around the time of Royale's launch, which kind of sucks, but we already own Persona 5, so I guess I wasn't too worried about it. So yeah, that I don't have too much of a problem with this. It very much felt like kind of an early adopter's reward.
Yeah, I'm surprised it lasted this long. I thought it was going to be like a year, honestly.
Yeah, I've seen people compare it to like the Ambassadors program with the 3DS, but I feel like that's completely different because those games, that was the only way you could get them, and that had some true bangers in there. You know, it had like Metroid Fusion and stuff, and that was the only way that you could play those games through Virtual Console on the 3DS. Whereas these games, you can pick them up if you want to play them. Obviously, it's not you're not going to get a big a deal there. You know, these games are at least going to cost you like $20 a piece for the most part. Although I've seen some of these games go down very cheap. I mean, when the last Sony sale was happening, The Last of Us 2, I think I saw for like $5. I was like, holy shit. And that's not even one of these games, just saying as far as older games going down.
But the Masters program, wasn't that mainly because of the problems with the 3DS?
It was, I think, did they have hinge problems? But it was mostly because when that system first came out, it was really expensive, and then they dramatically dropped the price by like $100 or $150.
Oh, okay.
And it was for those people that had bought it at that higher price. I feel like it was also having issues, but I don't remember if they were like hinge issues or what was going on with those. But yeah, it's you know, like I said, it feels like it was an early adopter's kind of reward, and now they're past the point of trying to make people happy who bought PS5s and then realized there weren't really that many PS5 games. You know, maybe that's what they were going for there, but yeah, it's what it is. In a similar fashion, but again, on kind of the opposite end of the spectrum here, Nintendo has reintroduced the voucher program, the game voucher program on the eShop in America. This is basically where if you spend $100 on these vouchers, you can then choose 2 first-party games to buy. So it's essentially buying them for like $10 less a piece, so $20 in saving overall. This includes new games like Fire Emblem Engage, the pre-order for the new Kirby Return to Dreamland, the Kirby that recently released, Pokemon Scarlet Violet. It also goes all the way back to games like 1-2 Switch and ARMS, which to me just exemplifies the fact that Nintendo never drops prices, because I should not be spending $59.99 on ARMS in 2023.
ARMS. That's ridiculous.
No way. And to
that
be like,
game
oh,
is a
now I can get
bargain bin
$10
game, yo.
off of that.
Let's just say it. That should be a cheap ass game.
Remember Player's Choice, Dominic? I remember Player's Choice. I miss that. Like, why? Why did we do away with that? I should not be looking at games that came out alongside the launch of your console for full price. Like, that's not cool. It's just not cool. Now, conversely, I'm glad they brought this back, because there are some first party games that I would like to pick up, and getting a $20 discount, you know, across the 2 of them, you know, especially if they end up adding like Tears of the Kingdom to it. I've been considering picking up Kirby because my daughter is kind of getting more into Kirby. You know, even something like Fire Emblem at $10 cheaper than I'm probably ever going to see that game. That's an exaggeration, but it's not far off. You know, it's more enticing. But then when you start going back in the archive of things that are available as part of this voucher, it's just like, Jesus Christ, Nintendo, you really just hate dropping prices on things, and you get away with it somehow. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
It's really ridiculous.
It sucks because I know my library would be so much bigger if they did.
Oh yeah. Driving people towards piracy, Dominic. Driving people towards piracy.
Elitist bastards.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's the thing is like, I was looking at it because Fire Emblem Engage, sure. But like Fire Emblem Three Houses, I haven't played. So like maybe I would pick that one up and get $10 off of that. No, because it's still full price too. Although I guess you're basically not getting $10 off if it was cheaper. So you actually want to buy the games that are full price because you're already upfront spending $100. But that means like these shouldn't need to be included in this program anymore because they should have dropped in price. It's not that their inclusion is the offensive part. It's the fact that they are still Pokken Tournament should not still cost $60, Dominic.
That game, man. I think physically, I think I saw that game.
Should not cost $60. You have Splatoon 3 out now. It is offensive, Dominic, that they get away with this. I hate it so much.
Yeah, darn, Splatoon 2. Good God.
Have such a love-hate relationship with Nintendo. Bayonetta 2, $49.99.
Yeah, that's the reason why I never got the game, Daniel. There's a reason why I never got that game.
But does that come with one, or is that just two, right?
I mean, I think it all depends how you... Well, if you buy it through this voucher thing, it probably is just two.
Yeah, it looks like this is just two for $49.99. You guys are insane. Like, it's insane. Oh, man. Nintendo, I wish you could let me be a fan of you. Like, I love Nintendo games so much, but the business decisions that they make, we let them get away with way too much, Dominic. All right. In some other news, this comes from some reporting from IGN. Allegedly, some sources close to the matter have advised that all three of the big three, Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony, will be skipping E3 this year. Now, Sony doesn't feel like that's much of a surprise. They haven't been a part of E3 for a while now. Microsoft had also separated themselves from E3 proper. So this is just kind of the final nail in the coffin there by losing Nintendo. I wonder if that means they are going to be associated more with Jeff Keighley's Summer of Game stuff, or if they're just going to be like, yeah, we're just going to put out a Nintendo Direct in June or July. Like, you know, that's what we do. Same with Microsoft, same with Sony. We'll just do our own thing around that time, you know, but maybe a little further out from all the rest of the stuff so we can get our own kind of press cycle. So we're not just lost in this mess of spouting off game after game after game. But I do wonder what that means for this new relaunched E3 that is, you know, now under the Reed Pop banner and trying to get more people into E3 as more of a Gamescom thing. I wonder what that means for them if less people are going to be inclined to go now, knowing that they're not going to play the latest Nintendo thing or what have you, or, you know, for that matter, Sony or Microsoft thing as well. What do you think?
I don't know what. So what's E3 going to be then? I mean, what? So are they? They're just going to have all
indies
third
all the time, Dominic. Konami's
like the
latest
indies and third parties. I mean, yeah,
because even didn't EA kind of previously pull out? They were doing the EA Play stuff like across the street or whatever.
Actually, that was another day. Well, last year there was no E3.
Okay.
So they usually do that stuff. Yeah, away. Well, one time they did it like before. It was before E3 officially started.
Right.
And they had a show. But yeah, I don't. Like, if the other guys are pulling out, I mean, because Microsoft still had like an event that happened across the street or something. So it's still, even though it wasn't a part of E3, it was E3. It was still E3 because it was still like they timed their event like it didn't go against any other big guys events. So I don't know what this means. Like on E3 week, are they still going to be putting out their shows around E3, or there's going to be another time? And then it's not going to feel like E3 then. So I'm not seeing.
I wonder if this is just a direct result of the Jeff Keighley stuff. Like maybe he's locked down some of that stuff because, I mean, when you think about it, like even PAX East and West have some presence from Nintendo and Microsoft and Sony officially. Like even years ago when we went to Boston, like there was a Sony booth there. They had Sony games playing. They had Nintendo games, that you could line up to play. So what does that mean for E3 if they can't get these kind of collaborators to work with them?
I mean, so it's almost like it's about to be dead again. I guess we'll see what happens, but it looks like it's about to be dead again.
Yeah,
I
wonder if it's just like, oh, we're not going to make announcements here. We're not going to have a press conference, but we'll have a booth or something like that, just so you have places for people to play. But
I wonder for like those people who traveled to go, not the fans, because that's new. That's actually fairly new. But the fan, like regular public going there, but for those other people, like. Who's going to travel? Will it be worth traveling to go there, to pay somebody to go to LA to see these games?
I mean, especially as we see these companies get like tighter and tighter budgeted and, firing a lot of their staff. It's like, do they see the return in sending someone out there, or are they just going to be like, here, regurgitate whatever news comes out of this quote unquote E3 chat bot and, spit out an AI article for me.
Really it sucks.
All right, Dominic. And then this one last news story I got here. It's kind of a story. So there's a new Sony commercial going around that's basically like live from PlayStation 5, and it has all these clips of different real life people acting out stuff from video games. There's a Aloy cosplayer there. There's a Spider-Man video. But there's one portion of the video in there that doesn't directly correlate to a game that is currently out or announced. And it's basically a young woman doing kind of some Indiana Jones-esque stuff, kind of tomb raiding, if you will. So there's been a lot of speculation that this may be related to a new Uncharted game. Naughty Dog said recently that they had moved on from the series and were not going to be making any more. But speculation basically run rampant. Maybe Sony Bend Studios could be working on a new Uncharted, possibly starring a Cassie Drake, who is the daughter of Nathan Drake that you meet at the end of that last game. What do you think about a new Uncharted game? What do you think if they have a relatively younger protagonist and the angle of violence in that game? Do they maybe move away from that to a more puzzle-based climby thing? Or do they just continue to shoot people?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's right. You're going to be shooting a whole lot of people with guns. Like, how old is she supposed to be? What were we talking about here?
Honestly, I don't know. I feel like in the epilogue, she was probably only in her like early teens.
Oh, so y'all thinking that she's going to be that age? If she is that age, yeah. Will it be? Yeah,
I would expect her to be older than that, but probably like between 18 and 22.
So not Tomb Raider. So not Tomb Raider age.
No, not quite Tomb Raider age. You got to differentiate yourself somehow, Dominic. Age her down like 2 years.
But I honestly, I just don't care about another Uncharted game. I mean, if it happens and people love it, that is great. Like me personally, I want to move on from the franchise. Yeah. Like I want to see something. I know it'll be another studio making it, so that's the only thing. It's like, okay, fine, y'all just keep it. Y'all just keep the license going. Yeah. And if it turns out to be a good game, then I'll play it. But I just not really interested in it. I really want Naughty Dog to do something different. Like I want to see something different. I want to see Naughty Dog go back to the roots of cartoony like Crash Bandicoot and Jack and Daxter, and see them doing something of that light, that something real and moody, and yeah, this is the Schindler's List of video games. I don't need to see that anymore from them anyway.
Yes, Dark Jack, the Schindler of video games. I would like to see them much in the vein of like we're seeing now with this Hi-Fi Rush thing. I think it would be really cool to see a studio of that size and kind of what we've expected from them to come out with maybe a smaller experience, but something completely different from what they're currently doing, which would hopefully be either like a Jack and Daxter or something in the vein of a Jack and Daxter, but not necessarily specifically Jack and Daxter, even if it's like a similar tone and vibe, but not Jack and Daxter, because they want to save that for when they do a full game. And then, this is kind of just to gauge what people's thoughts and feelings are towards making that game, to then say, hey, look, Sony, it's not just Last of Us and Uncharted that it would sell. We could also sell a game that has this kind of aesthetic.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. That's cool.
So we'll see. I'm cautiously optimistic about what a new Uncharted game would be, especially because I feel like it can't just be mostly shooty stuff, and I would like it to be more of a puzzly, climby type adventure. But at the same time, I just don't know how you differentiate yourself from a Tomb Raider when the whole thing about Uncharted was basically Dude Raider, because now you're a man, but here you go, now you're a young woman, and basically you're just Tomb Raider now. So, we shall see. I wonder how soon we would hear about something like that. Obviously not at E3 now, but maybe at a Sony Direct thing later this year. We'll hear something about that. All right, Dominic, that is the news I had. You want to go on to new releases here real quick before we get into our games from last year? All right. So this one kind of surprise dropped. Valiant Hearts coming home. The game we had talked about, the sequel to Valiant Hearts. It is a Netflix game, so if you are a subscriber to Netflix, you can play this for free either on your iOS or Android device. I have downloaded it. We'll see if I have any interest in actually playing that thing on my phone. You also have Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition that is now on the Xbox One and Series consoles. You have Power Wash Simulator now out on the Nintendo Switch, PS4, and PS5.
Damn, Xbox had locked up that little exclusive.
Yeah,
that's exclusive from lockdown.
I have heard so many people talk about how good that game is, Dominic. And now they just announced there's a crossover there too. There is a Power Wash Simulator Final Fantasy VII DLC coming, I believe.
Oh, that's some bullshit. Is it just on PlayStation?
Now I'm wondering. Let's see. Power Wash Simulator is cleaning up Final Fantasy VII in next crossover DLC, courtesy of GameSpot here. Dun, dun, dun.
You know what? There's got to be some Power Wash mods.
I didn't know. Apparently there was a free Tomb Raider DLC as well. That's pretty funny.
Are you watching her?
No. Oh, that just came out January 31st. No, it's actually like you're washing the manor.
Okay.
And it's actually kind of like the graphics look kind of old too, like almost PlayStation-y graphics. So it's kind of clever. Yeah, let's see. Originally released. I don't see anything where they're saying specifically it is PlayStation exclusive, so hopefully it is not. But I could definitely see why you would say that, because that game is PlayStation exclusive. Well, I guess PC also, so potentially that could also be there. Let's see, DLC, PlayStation exclusive. See if anybody mentions that. I don't see anything, so hopefully that does make its way to everything, because that seems like that could be a lot of fun. Just scrubbing down Cloud's bike and dirty old Midgar. I don't know if you have enough washing power to clean up that place, Dominic. There's a lot of years of gunk and grime from living under that saucer, living under that oppressive regime of Shinra. All right, so we got that. We also got SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake out now on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. And Deliver Us Mars out now on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series consoles.
What is Deliver Us Mars? Is that a strategy game?
I believe it is. Isn't it the sequel to Deliver Us the Moon? Which, honestly, I never really knew what that was. Apparently, according to their website, it is a sci-fi thriller set in apocalyptic near future where Earth's resources have been depleted. So it seems like it is a first-person kind of puzzle action. Maybe not action, maybe adventure style game. So I've heard people talk about it, and it seems like it's kind of a cool thing, but I just have never gotten around to actually seeing what that game is. So those are our new releases for this week. Dominic, we are now going to get into kind of a retrospective of the games that we played last year, kind of talking up the bigger titles that we enjoyed, and listing off all the other ones too.
Yeah.
So you want to kick it off,
Dominic? Not too big, because you don't want people to know what our game of the year is going to be.
Okay. It's going to be very clear, I feel like.
Well, you probably can imagine.
Yeah.
All right. So you say you want me to start off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Be so kind.
All right. So I played Cyberpunk last year. It feels like longer ago. So much longer ago. But yeah, because I got it on the Stadia, and then I also end up still getting it on PC because I wanted to use cheats. But yeah, so I was playing like cross between both. But I think I played mostly on the PC because of the cheats, even though it was worse graphics. I just dealt with it. But yeah, Cyberpunk, it was all right. It was all right, but it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. But I was fine with it. I thought it was still a good game. I guess we're still waiting for that those DLCs to come out.
Yep.
I mean those the story DLC. All right. So what we got here? I played Trails. Well, I played quite a few. I played like 2 Trails games. I was still playing Trails of Cold Steel 3, and then I played Trails of Cold Steel 4. So I completed both of them. So I finished that saga of the Trails series, of the Cold Steel series. I finished that series. Now there's I don't know what the English name is going to be. I know it's called Kenanuski, whatever. I'll probably butcher the name, but it is dealing in another city, Crossbell, and that hasn't come out over the U.S. official. Well, it's come to the U.S., but it still hasn't been translated. You can buy it though, but there has been translation patches for it. So maybe one day I'll play it, because who knows how long it's going to take for them to officially come out with an American version of the game. But that part 2 just came out for it. So I'm like, maybe I should jump into this. And they have some other side stories that come out of it too. And plus that remake of the one I already played, of Crossbell series. But I already beat that, and I don't really care about playing that again. What else? We got Grand Theft Auto 5 up here. Why the fuck did I say that? Oh, because I probably was playing with friends. Okay, so whatever.
Yeah, you're playing the whatchamacallits, right?
Multiplayer.
The heists.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you was doing the heist. Yeah, exactly. We got MK11. I was playing a lot of that because it was streaming it. I can stream it when I had Game Pass and everything, so made it a whole lot easier with that. Gunk was a new game.
Yeah,
it was a game where you played as this woman and this other woman, your partner. Like you're on a spaceship and I guess you like trash people. I don't know. Y'all clean up stuff. That's your job. And then you would clean up the gunk off this planet. Then some shit happens. I didn't play much of it. I mean, it seemed like it was okay, but I just wasn't in the mood to. Like, it was in a game. It didn't grab me enough to stop playing whatever I was playing. So which was probably Trails and Cyberpunk. So I stopped playing it, but it seemed like it was an okay game. Forza Horizon. I want to say it's Forza Horizon 5. I played and. Yeah, I mean, it was Forza Horizon. It was pretty good. Didn't play as much as 4 though, but I mean, it's a Forza game, and they're always damn good. Life is Strange. I played Life is Strange the third one, which is I don't know what it was called with the girl with the glasses.
Yeah. The sound and color
Hispanic
and
one,
shapes.
yeah, and that was good. I really enjoyed that. That was a good story.
End up beating that one,
you did, right? I beat it.
True Colors is what that one was.
True Colors, yes. Psychonauts 2, I'm also ended up finishing that year and really liked that. Also played a game Nobody Saves the World. It seemed like a RPG, a top-down RPG, I want to say, like action RPG, but I didn't play enough to really get to know it, and I didn't. It didn't grab me enough on it, even though I think the reviews were okay for it. Yeah. Windjammers 2 was on the Game Pass, and I tried that out, and yeah, it seems fun. Like throwing discs at each other, stuff like that. So it seemed like it was cool. I heard of Windjammers, but I never tried it out. What else I got here? I played Halo, of course. I finished that. Halo Infinite. I think I finally finished it in 2022. And story-wise, it was fine, but wasn't great. But the gameplay I did like. I did enjoy the gameplay. I thought it was really nice. It's sad that they didn't have co-op at the time. They got it now, but I don't know if I'm ever gonna find time to play with somebody, especially if it's just like I don't think it's matchmaking on co-op. So yeah. What else I played? Scarlet Nexus. This was a JRPG. I did beat that. That was a good game. I was surprised how good it was. That I ended up playing that for a while. That was a game I played after I finished Trails of Cold Steel 3 because I started 4. Then I started Scarlet Nexus at the same time. That was like, I'll play Scarlet Nexus. And I like that you can play through it twice, like with as the male and then they play as the female, and they have their stories are intertwined that you get to see what was going on with the other character while they were away. So it was like, hey, what was she doing? And then you realize when you play as her, you say, oh, this is what she was doing. And then you get what was going on. Why some things, it didn't make sense when you played through the first time. But then when you play as her, I played as her, I was like, oh, so this is why this happened. And like, this is what was going on. Like, it was like, it dealt with like time travel and stuff. It was cool. Like, I thought it was pretty cool how they did the story in that game. And the action was great. I liked the gameplay. Because this is me after playing Tales of Arise, playing that, and how that JRPG, the action was kind of like a mixture of that, like Devil May Cry, something like this, and this was a great, this is more action than that one, but it was good. Scar Nexus was, it turned out to be a really good game. All right, so then I got the Oculus.
Yeah.
And like the around March area, because my sister had to get surgery and she couldn't use it anymore, so I borrowed it. And I played some Beat Saber. I played some Supernatural, which is the exercise game. Well, it's not really a game, but it's an exercise program and everything. It's got subscription and stuff like that to it. That was good. I played some bowling. That was really good. It was too real because I was always getting gutter balls. And then Vader Immortal. I tried that. That was fun. I found 1 and 2. I still haven't played 3 yet. Yeah, so I was enjoying that. And I also played some Medal of Honor. That was, I mean, it's only interesting because it's VR. I've never done it before. But I do not like how realistic you had to be with the guns. I didn't want to have to manually put the bullets in and to actually reload it, like load it up. I did not like that. And I died a few times because I was doing that. And I said, nope, not for me. I played some Battle Sisters, which is Warhammer. I should get back to the game. There's so many games that I had to get back into, but that was all right. That was okay, even though I still didn't like loading the guns in that too, but it was a little faster paced. Robo Recall is fun. And I talked about that a lot. VR. Moss is pretty great. I still have to go back to that if I can play 2. I played Star Wars Tales, like Tales of the Galaxy, I think it's called, and that was all right. Like I liked it. It was fun. Like you play as some guy on this ship, and then shit goes wrong, and then you end up going different places in the galaxy, and doing Star Wars stuff. What more to say? but it's a more kid friendly. It's not as dark like Vader's Immortal. But it has a moment where I was like ducking and hiding and shooting these guys, man. But it's fun. What I played? Some Gorn. I know that's that. What is it, like that Coliseum type of fighting game?
Yeah, where, like physicsy fighting game.
Yeah, it's really funny. I've tried out Fallout 4 in VR. That was fun. I really I wish though that my PC was faster or better because I could get more out of it, because it was a little janky me hook up to Quest 2, but I think I had a better PC, it would run really good. And I like that, like being in the VR space of Fallout 4, man. It makes it like I do want to play that game in VR. What else have I done? I played a lot of other games too, and I just can't remember them like I see them. Vox Machina, I think that's when you was a robot. I didn't like it that much because it was too. I mean, I like how realistic it was. Like you were really inside of it, and the giant robot you in, and you got to pull these levers and do this. But it was, I kept dying too fast, and then I just stopped. I'll probably see some more VR games later on because I'm just going down this list. Okay, so then what else I played? I played some No Man's Sky again. I went back into that game to play it just to see how it was, and I realized, this is not a game for me. Even though I played with cheats, but it was like I don't want to, because it's too time consuming, and I want to play other things. I played The Walking Dead in VR, very little because I was scared, so I did not get that one. And Space Pirate Shooter, whatever it's called,
Space Pirate Trainer.
Yeah, I played that. That was like a shooter, arcade type of shooter, and that's pretty fun. Sam & Max in VR, that was fun. And a mini golf game in VR, that's really good. And it's real because I always got a 6. I could never finish a course. I'll get 6s. The plank, I like that because you like walk on a plank and you like on the edge of a plank in a high like freaking skyscraper, and it looks like you're about to fall. What else have I played? Some NBA 2K, I played that. I played some Samurai Warrior 3. I was like, because after I beat Samurai Warriors 2, I was playing 3, but I never did finish it. I never did finish 3. I get them stopping. I played some Weird West. Weird West is the isolate. It's like has an isolated camera view. Where you like you're it's like almost typed down, but it's almost like it's like an RPG. It's like an RPG though, and it's pretty good. I just didn't get into it because I was playing other games, and it was a nice game. It was one of those West games. There was a lot of West games that was named this year that had nothing to do with each other. they weren't like each other, but I got them confused with the titles. I have a game up here that says Paradise Lost I played, and I don't know what the hell that is. Paradise Lost. Oh, Paradise
Not
Lost.
the Final Fantasy, is it?
No. Paradise Lost is like a Danganronpa game.
Okay.
I mean, it's not really like Danganronpa, but you are in first person view. You go around talking to people. You're trying to find out how the gods got killed or something. Like you're investigating, and you got to find out how this happened. I totally forgot the story, like what happens if you don't. But I never got that far into it. I got enough to know what it is, and it seems all right. If you're into those type of games, it's pretty slow paced because you're just kind of investigating and looking around and going by evidence and stuff. But I just didn't stay with it. But I might as well go and talk about the Danganronpa. Like I played Danganronpa 2. I think I played Danganronpa 1 last year, right? Yeah, I think that was last year. I mean, not last year, but 2021. I think 2. I know 2 I played this year, and then I played the normal games. I played the first one, which is 999, and then the second one, which was the last Virtue's Last Stand, or something like that. And both of those were great. Both of those were great games. I really enjoyed them. And Danganronpa 2, it was okay. Danganronpa 1 was better. Danganronpa 2 was okay. The ending I didn't really like that much. But I had fun playing it. Also, another game done by the same guys from the same company. At least by the same company. I don't think it was the same guys. I played. Let me see. It's down here. Well, I'll get to it. I might as well just go by the list to get through it. Ghostwire Tokyo. I did play. I played a lot of Ghostwire Tokyo, but it wasn't. It was all right, but it got boring. It got boring for me after a while. I mean, I liked it initially. And like I can go back to it right now and have fun, but then I'm gonna stop and not finish it. Or maybe I'll finish it this time if I start from where I left off. But I'm not, because I'm not gonna have the same saves, because when I get it for Xbox, I'll start from the beginning again. Damn. Well, that's gonna suck. But it's an alright game, but it wasn't great. It wasn't that scary. It's not. I mean, it's some tension, but it's not that scary. I mean, I do like that you look at the stories of people who died, and then you try to like basically help guide their souls to the afterlife. But the whole fighting the ghosts and stuff, I don't know. It just got pretty old for me. It just didn't stick with me. Might as well say I finally did play Deathloop 2, and the only reason I stopped playing is because it can't run well on my PC, and I want cheats, and I'm not going to play without cheats. And technically no. I don't mind playing without cheats. I can't play it. I mean, because I can stream it and play it, but the pixelation, I just can't get. I don't like dealing with that. I played the new Ninja Turtles game, and Shredder's Revenge. That was great. I still haven't beaten it though, but that was great. I played the Cowabunga collection. I played a little bit of like arcade or 2 arcade. I played 1, which is a horrible game, still a horrible game. But I played 2 arcade, and I played some of 3. I played some of that. It's a fun collection. I think my friends got the collection. I think one of them got it for the Switch. I don't know my other buddy what he got on. Power Wash Simulator, as we just talked about, I played that, and that is a fun game. It somehow is relaxing just to watch stuff. I wish it really was cleaning stuff. But
just controlling a drone somewhere, spraying down some cars.
I wish it was like a real job I was doing. Yeah, that's like, I'm getting paid for this. As Dusk Fall, this is a story-based story, like almost like a graphic novel, but more interactive and more branches, and it's really good. I still haven't finished it. I mean, it's long. It's longer than I thought it was. I thought it was gonna be like a short game, and I was surprised how long it was. And it is pretty damn good. It's a good story, and I like how the choices, man. It gets tense on these choices, and yeah, I like it. I'm gonna finish it. It's just take some time. It's gonna take some time, but it was good. I played some other VR games, Warhammer Tempest, which is it's old Warhammer, not like Battle Sisters is based off the Warhammer. This
No,
was 30,000,
40K, right?
or 4K, whatever,
40K.
40,000. I don't know. But this is based off just original Warhammer, like the old. Basically, it reminds me of Elder Scrolls, kind of. I played Starlight, which is a strategy game. Almost reminds me of Homeworld, but just in VR. So you kind of just move, you kind of into space, and like it was like a god basically. You moving the ships, telling the ships where to go and that and stuff. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I played Guardians of the Galaxy, beat that game. That is a good game. It's just not polished enough. But it reminds me of the Naughty Dog. Like it reminds me of Uncharted and stuff like that. But it's just not as polished. I do like, but the banter, the dialogue is great. I mean, it's a great story. It's a good story. I really like it. Fire Emblem Warriors Three Houses. I played that. That is the Warriors version of Fire Emblem game that had came out. And it's great. It is. I really liked it. Is it better than? Yeah, I would say it's better than the first Fire Warrior. Oh yeah, Fire Emblem was, yeah, because it feels like even the first one did, but this feels like I'm playing a Fire Emblem game. It's just that when I'm fighting, it's just like a Dynasty Warriors game. But you're doing all the things like you usually do in Fire Emblem. I just love how they integrated their systems together to make this game. I put Star Fox. Oh, I must have played Star Fox 64 through the Nintendo thing. Okay. And I played some Yoshi Story through the Nintendo, the N64 app on the Nintendo Switch.
Nintendo
and
Online, yeah.
Multiverses, I tried that out. The Smash clone, which turns out to be pretty fun. Haven't gone back to it though, but it was pretty fun. Midnight Fighting Express, which is a nice fighting game, isometric view, but it's like a beat 'em up, but kind of stylish. Like it's okay. Shifu, that is a great action game. The one you age as you die, that is great. I played with. I tried to play with a mod. Did I play with the mod? No, I didn't. I don't think I actually did play with mods yet. I think I loaded it up, but it didn't work right, and I just stopped when I was going back to it. So I ended up never going back to it. But what I played was really fun. Oh, what else I played? Another game, Swarm. I played on the VR. That's probably one of the most fun I had with games on the VR, where you have a swarm of ships that you kind of swing it around like Spider-Man with these cables around, and you're shooting them at the same time. That is awesome. But another game, Lone Echo, which I played. You have to play through the PC because it's only on the PC Oculus, but it hasn't been made for the Quest yet. I played that, and that is so immersive. Like you're a robot, and you're on this ship with this lady, and you're just trying to fix something's happened and that's caused a lot of problems on the space station, and you're trying to fix everything to get everything right. And man, it is so realistic. Like it really feels like I'm out in space, man. And one time I was just floating out there and I was screaming like, what am I gonna do? Like I was
like Sandra Bullock.
Yeah. But man, that is awesome. Like that, woo, man, that's a good game. That's one of the best games. And I haven't played 2 yet, but I haven't even finished 1. I'm doing this puzzle. I'm trying to get past these lasers, but I keep dying. What else I played? Trek to Yomi was not that good of a game. That side-scrolling, I would say samurai type of game. What it is?
Yeah, it definitely didn't hit with me either.
Yeah, I played because some games I'm going to skip because it's just it's getting a little too long and then it's not really played a lot. What else I played? I put Doom. Oh, I played Doom in VR. That was pretty good. Zombieland in VR is pretty good. Half-Life in VR, I haven't done too much, so I can't say it's really good, but I mean it's interesting. I did what else have I done? Creed was really good, and also the other boxing game. I forgot what it was called because I don't think I actually put the name up here because I think it's probably just for boxing. I also played Klonoa. I know you played it too. You played it more than I did.
Yeah.
Gotham Knights, I beat that game. Story wise, it's good. I do like it, but gameplay wise, it's fine. It's fine. I never played it with people, but it's okay. But it's too what I want to call it bullet sponge because you're not shooting bullets, but it's kind of spongy because it's trying to be for that multiplayer element of it, like Destiny and things of that nature. But it's just that for Batman game, I wanted to be just like the Arkham Knights games. I mean, it's an okay game, but it's definitely not. I wouldn't definitely when I worth $60 or anything. I played some more. Oh yeah, Spider-Man remastered for the PC. I played that. Well, Spider-Man technically again, but just better and with all these mods. Oh my god, it's awesome! It's awesome playing Peter Parker naked. It's the best thing ever. Also, MLB The Show I played. What else have I played? Well, I got Vampire up here.
Vampire Survivors, maybe?
Oh, yes, that's what it probably was. I played a shitload of that.
Yeah.
Great game. I also played the Ghostbusters, the Ghostbusters multiplayer game, and that was okay. I mean, I enjoyed it, but didn't go back. I mean, it's kind of hard to go back to these multiplayer games.
Yeah.
Evil West, which is a cool action game that seemed like it was like back from the PS2 days kind of action games. Pretty all right. Just don't have the time to play it. God of War, shucks, that should be the game of the year, but I haven't put a lot of time into it. Because I've just been focusing on being Persona 5, and I don't know if I even feel like playing it after I beat Persona 5. That's the thing. I don't have that feeling like, yeah, I gotta play some God of War like I did the first one. I don't know why. Maybe it's not that feeling. Tiny Tina Wonderland. I haven't got back to it, but I'm gonna get back into it. One of these days, I'm gonna call my friend and we're gonna do it. It's not even Tom. It's just haven't been in the mood, and I think he probably the same way. But one of these days we will. But yeah, I do. It's okay game. It's not what's it called? Borderlands 2 is still the best one. Tiny Tina's Wonderland. I wouldn't say number 2, but it might be, but just I haven't beaten it. But it might be better than 3. I mean, it seems like the story seems better than 3 already, so I'll just say that. But Borderlands 2 is the best one, and it seems like nothing's going to touch that one. And I played the Iron Man in VR. Iron Man VR was pretty good. I did enjoy what I played of it. The Last Clockwinder, a puzzle game. I played a lot of that actually, because in one sitting. Cool. Yeah, the Last Clockwinder. I like all the puzzles you do in there, and also the story of how you're learning about the woman. I think she passed away who took care of you while you were staying there, and like you kind of learning, like reading her diary of not diary, but little notes she has around about her time with you and stuff. And it's like, oh, this is really touching. Beacon Pines. I forgot about that game. That's a game to get back into. It seemed like a pretty cool, like almost story-driven type of game. Okay. I don't know if it's any action, but it's pretty dark. It looks like it's talking little critters, but I think it's dark.
Now I remember you talking about that one. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's it. I mean, it's not really it. It's a lot of the games, but those are the big ones I could think of, or I have written down here, I believe. I feel like I'm missing something here. Persona 5, of course. Oh, I'm playing that now. Yeah. Persona 5, that's why I have it down. I'm playing that. And I don't know. I think that might be it. Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna go hit. Oh, AI Summoning Files. That's what it was.
That was a big one.
Yeah, that's the one. That's like Danganronpa and the Nonary games and stuff like that. Yeah. They and it's 2 of them. I played both of them. I played the first one, and the second one was called AI. Darn, what was it? The shit called? Maybe that is. I don't know which one was which. AI. Oh, Nirvana. I think it's called AI Summoning Files 2 Nirvana Project or something like that. Um, or Nirvana Initiative, I think it's called. But yeah, I played both of them. They're great stories. I love the twist they have. They had some good twists that I didn't see coming. Now the twist in the second one, I almost feel like it's a little cheating, but I understand it after they do it, and it's like, oh, that's cool, but it's kind of cheating. I could never figure that out. I would never figure that out. I like twists where it's like, hey, I could have thought of it if I really tried. Like, I mean, I had a chance to think of it. Like, it's like,
pieced it together. Right.
Yeah, but it's like this, like, man, yeah, that kind of piece it together. Well, maybe I'm that stupid though. I don't know. Maybe the internet. But I ain't seen nobody else say that. I think maybe I saw a couple people say that, and a lot of people called them out on it too. They say, "Yeah, lying motherfucker, you a lying motherfucker." Yeah, great. That was a great game. That I played. That I never even heard of till that year. Apparently, that year the game came out right around COVID. The first one, right before COVID, around COVID, and then the second one just came out this year. So yeah, man. Yeah, it was an all right year. It was an okay year. I played a lot of stuff, but I completed only a few games. But the games I completed, I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Except for Gotham Knights, it was just I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the story of that. All right, so what you played throughout the year? Like, all right. Yeah,
so I'm just gonna kind of list these off as I talked about them in the year. First up, Death's Door. I had started that the year before. I finished it at the beginning of last year. I enjoyed that game quite a bit. It was very cool. You were the little crow with Dark Souls like, whatever. Luigi's Mansion 3. Once again, I returned to that game. One of these days, the time I return to it, I'll maybe beat that game. Artful Escape. I came to that game last year, finally. I thought it had a lot of cool concepts to it, but it never quite felt right to me. So I eventually didn't end up sticking with it, and I think now it's not on Game Pass anymore, so it'll probably be a long time before I find myself getting back to that if it ever does make its way back to Game Pass. Similar to Death's Door, Chicory, I played a good bit of that at the beginning of the year. I did not ever finish that, though. Ghostwire Tokyo, the Prelude, which was kind of the point-and-click adventure game, which was very short, that came out at the time of that launch of the full game. That was an okay experience, but it didn't really do much. There wasn't much to it, not even in the way of actually like pointing, clicking, finding adventure kind of stuff. Tunic. Tunic was big for me, but at the same time, it wasn't quite what I was expecting it to be, and not in the way that it ended up.
That's right. I played a little bit of that.
Everybody. Yeah, you played a bit of that too.
Yeah.
I appreciated the fact that they gave me options to continue to play that game, because I definitely needed the invulnerability. I don't know that I would have even progressed as far as I did in that game had they not given me those kind of accessibility things. That is a game that I feel like I would like to revisit at some point. But I just gotta figure out when I'm in the mood to try and revisit that. Trek for Yomi, you mentioned, not that great. Rogue Legacy 2, that's a game that the first one I really enjoyed, and this one kind of came out, did the same thing. I played for a couple of weeks and then never really went back to. TMNT, Shredder's Revenge, that seems like an awesome game. In fact, I was looking at it on the phone because it's also part of Netflix's subscription thing.
Really?
Yeah. So you can just download that if you have a Netflix subscription on your phone. I don't know that I would actually want to play that on my phone, though, unless I could Bluetooth a controller to it. But at that point, why not just boot it up on my PC? So one of these days I'll play more of that game. I spent a lot of time going back to Fall Guys, almost more than anything this year. Just the events they had would bring me back in every now and then. I've definitely seen some skins that I would have liked to have gotten, but I'm not going to pay money for them. And it seems like basically that's the only way to get anything really cool out of that game. as far as the cosmetics go. But gameplay wise, I like that they've kind of siphoned off the team based things into their own categories, because that was always what kind of pushed me away from not the original, but when I played Fall Guys originally, was doing fine in the solo missions, and then the team based stuff was a little more difficult, and I always got eliminated there. I revisited Jedi Fallen Order this year. I tried getting back into that again. Played it for a week, and then something else came out, so I fell away from it again. Definitely seems like a cool game. I would like to play that. I would like to play the sequel when it comes out. But just making the time to do it is something I need to do. Klonoa, you mentioned it. Ended up being kind of disappointed with that game when I actually got my hands on it. It was always something, before it released, I was excited to play, because I was excited by the prospect of that game from seeing it from PlayStation back in the day, but never really getting to play it outside of like the Game Boy Advance one, which I thought the Game Boy Advance one at the time at least was pretty good. And yeah, it just kind of came and wasn't really much to it. Multiverses, you mentioned it. It's a really cool alternative to Smash Brothers. I think they did a good job with that game. I hope that it succeeds for them. And they can continue to put work into that. Blossom Tale 2, kind of forgot that game came out. I need to get back to that because I enjoyed that first game a lot. Got started on it, and then something else came along and never went back to it. Probably this next game, honestly, from the following week was Tinykin. That came out. I kind of looked at it initially and was like, it's weird. And then I booted it up, and I was, completing it within a couple of days. I thought that game was fantastic. It did a really good job with just the way transversing those little environments felt. You get on that bar of soap and you roll around, mix that with the kind of collectathon nature of picking up all that stuff. It had a very like Banjo-Kazooie Mario 64 feel to it, despite having its, very obvious Pikmin connotations there as well. Disney Dreamlight Valley seems like a cool thing. I don't know. It was fine from what I played. I actually quite enjoyed it, but it feels like a time commitment that I'm just not willing or able to make nowadays to get the full worth out of a game like that. Shovel Knight Dig, that's a really cool spin on the Shovel Knight kind of gameplay, turning it into a roguelike, almost in a similar form of SteamWorld Dig. But at the same time, didn't quite... It took me longer than I expected for it to click with me. But even then, I think a lot of what SteamWorld Dig did appealed to me more than what Shovel Knight Dig did. Deathloop, you mentioned it. It's kind of the same. I think it's a cool thing. I would maybe go back to it, but there are different aspects of it that kind of turned me off from it. It being more of like a Dishonored type thing, despite the fact that I also want to like Dishonored, and less of kind of a straightforward shooter. I think kind of was one of the aspects that pushed me away from it. Scorn, that game I actually just uninstalled this morning because I'm not going to go back to that game. It definitely seemed like kind of something different before launch. It felt like it was going to be something more active than almost a like Myst style puzzle game, and it sounds like it does get to that point later in the game, but that's actually the less interesting parts of that game, and what I played at the beginning wasn't particularly interesting in and of itself, so I don't foresee myself ever really going back to that game. Marvel Snap seems like a really cool kind of evolution of the card-based battle game. Quick matches is definitely a big improvement over when I was playing Hearthstone But once again, I think it's a victim of just being a game that I would play on my phone because I really just don't do that much. Ghost Song is a game that you had kind of brought to my attention as part of Game Pass, a Metroidvania with a really cool art style. But I think I got stuck in one part and then I just never went back to it. And, something else came along and drew my attention. God of War, you mentioned it, but just like you said, there's something about it that it's not drawing me to play it in the same way that first game did. And I don't know if part of it is because it's just an iteration of that first game and that first game was so different from those previous games or what, but I'd really like to see what that story has to offer, but I just wasn't drawn to continue playing it. I'll get around to it eventually, but right now it's just not hitting. Somerville, another one that feels like a lot of these things I'm mentioning kind of just disappointed me, but Somerville, game coming from some of the guys behind that left Playdead and worked on Inside and Limbo. A lot of it did not work for me. It did not work in the same way that especially Inside of the two really did. I mean, between the two of us, we spent a lot of time talking about Inside. We made a specific podcast dedicated to talking about that game and the spoilers of that game because it was just so amazing with the way that it would switch up gameplay between different levels and whatnot. And Somerville is kind of the complete opposite of that. It's just more of the same and boring kind of throughout the entirety of that game. Astro's Playroom, that for a pack-in game that came along with the PS5, that thing is awesome as a kind of historical piece for PlayStation. That is awesome. Collecting all the old peripherals and hardware in that game and being able to look at them with your controller as you like move it around is really cool. The gameplay, once again, is a thing that switches it up between the levels. Like you're not always just this little robot guy doing platforming stuff. There's also, you jump into this ball and then you move it around with the touchpad, or you're this frog that has a spring on them and you're using the gyro to control where you're going and the haptic feedback triggers to move. It's really creative, a really cool game. Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. I was never a huge PlayStation like Crash Bandicoot fan. I always looked at him as like competition for Mario back in the day. But this game does a really good job just feeling like a really tight, good platformer. It also looks visually great and is really neat. Vampire Survivors, incredible. That's a game that really kind of came out of nowhere, it feels like, and is different from a lot of things I've played in the past. I think that's one of the things that I struggle with nowadays as a video games person of a certain age is I feel like I've seen a lot of games, whether they're just prettier now or slightly evolve a concept, but Vampire Survivors really feels like it's different in a lot of ways than things I've played in the past. Mario Kart 8, played some of that DLC. They came as part of the expansion pass, and a lot of those levels are cool. It's neat seeing some of those ones that I'm very familiar with from like the Game Boy Advance versions being reimagined basically in Mario Kart 8, which just plays incredibly, looks good still, and runs well. Soccer Story, I mentioned that earlier when we were talking about Sports Story, but that could be, to me, basically the spiritual successor to Golf Story in the way that it's kind of this smaller studio coming along and creating this really good, really kind of sweet game. Also played Need for Speed Unbound. That seems like a step in the right direction for that series, but also I don't know how you compete with Forza Horizon at this point outside of trying to go in a different direction. And while this game does that, it still doesn't have some of the like creature comforts of a Forza Horizon where you can rewind in races, which just makes it so much more accessible for someone like me who maybe likes to take corners a little too quickly and smash into walls, but also likes to come in first. So it's nice to be able to actually rewind that stuff and not have to start over a whole race again. Lego Builder's Journey, played a very little bit of that. That seems like a cool kind of thing. It makes sense that started as a phone game. I don't know that it has what it takes to get me to sit in front of my computer and play much more of that. But I really like the concept. I think the idea of telling a story through these Lego pieces is kind of entertaining and really neat. And then High on Life. That is a game.
Oh shit! I forgot to mention that.
Yeah. So what did you think of it, real quick? If you.
Oh yeah, I did.
I did
like it. I did like what I played. I enjoyed it. The banter was funny too. In that one, not really banter, but well, some just banter because some things were arguing each other. But yeah, the comedy was pretty funny.
Is that a game you see yourself going back to?
Yeah. The only reason is that well, I wanted to play it through streaming, but it's all pixelation. But I might just have to deal with the PC because I don't think it was running that well on my PC at first. But I think it's going. Right. It probably run good now. I just didn't optimize it right.
Gotcha. Yeah, I that game turned out. And conversely, I talked about being disappointed kind of this year, but that one was kind of a surprise to me. I didn't go into this game thinking much of it. I thought maybe some of that voice stuff with the guns was going to be overbearing and irksome. And as it turns out, I actually was kind of hoping for some more out of it. I would have liked to see more lines, when I attempt to kill these aliens that my gun does not want to kill. And I think just overall, like the gameplay itself, in addition to the comedic stylings of it, I think the gameplay is actually really solid, and adding the jetpack as I did before I last kind of stopped playing it, I think that'll add a nice little dimension to it that could be needed as you progress through that game. So I think that thing's cool. Yeah, those are the games I played this year, or last year rather.
So I guess next podcast we'll do our half-ass game of the year.
Yeah.
Awards.
Draw some conclusions about this thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Wrap up that year. All right, Dominic.
It's going to be Elden Ring that wins it for us.
Somehow it's not even on the list of things that we really played. Yes. I'm going to pick it up and then be like, I want to retroactively add this to my list. Yeah. As I play it with a guitar. All right, Dominic. Do you have anything else for the people for this week?
Nah, I'm good.
All right. Thank you guys as always for listening. You check us out on Twitter. Dominic's at DStallworth5. I'm at Regulus MB. The podcast is at Supapod, SUPAPOD. Supapod.com is our website. It has all of our previous podcasts, as well as links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there is a video version of this podcast, as well as all of the audio places like iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify. And until next time, guys, talk to you later.
All right, see you.